Hi everyone, so it's Zoe Hill, and today I'm going to go through fibromyalgia, what don't I know. So if you're new to fibromyalgia and say you've just been diagnosed, I'll go through a few things with you guys that if you're new then you might not know. So I guess this is more for you really. The first thing that you probably don't know is that over the time your fibromyalgia probably will get worse. In the doctor's eyes, in the scientific sort of way, we don't, because our bodily tissues and things don't deteriorate, so they don't consider us to get worse. But our muscles and our bones, I suppose depression, anxiety, things like that, we do get worse. I remember I've been diagnosed now for about 4 years. And I remember when I was first diagnosed, I remember saying that I did have good days and bad days. Now I don't. I generally have more bad days and not so very many good days. So in that aspect, you will get worse. So the more time you spend in bed, your anxiety will go up. You won't want to go out so much. And obviously the more time you're spending in bed, the more lame your muscles are getting because they're not being used as much. So in that sense, your fibro will get worse. Pain, I mean, there's so many things that are sort of revolved around fibromyalgia. My brain fog there kicking in. Like IBS, so IBS can develop into an IBD, mine did, and that was a side effect from pills. Naproxen was mine. So things can deteriorate for you. Sometimes it can be pretty rapidly, and sometimes it can take a few years. But as long as you've got a good support group around you, it doesn't matter. Every day is different, as you know. And like I say, so long as you do have a good support group, you can overcome anything. So yeah, the first thing you should know is that over time you will get worse. A lot of people do end up bedridden, having scooters, having other aids around the house to help them in and out of the baths. A lot of people don't cook anymore. So yeah, things like that. It does really start to affect your life. It does take over your life. Again, the support groups on Facebook and support around the house is so important. You must establish a really good support group around you. Secondly, God, I've forgotten, but it will come back to me in a minute. So what's the first thing? Was your body deteriorating? The other things I don't get told. So something else you probably don't get told is all the other conditions that sort of interact or whatever with fibromyalgia. Things like IBS, insomnia, anxiety. That doesn't all. I mean, not all these symptoms come with fibro, but the majority of them do. You might not find that you get them now. They might develop later on. I don't know why we seem to get all these extra conditions, but we do. Maybe it's an intolerance to things. I don't know. Yeah, strange one. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, we do seem to get them all. Yeah, so IBS is pretty much a given anyway, but insomnia, anxiety, what else do we get? Headaches. I didn't really suffer so much with headaches before, but I do now. Dizziness, RLS, restless leg syndrome. Sorry, I didn't mean to abbreviate. Raynaud's with your hands. sciatica. What else? I don't know what I should make notes. That would make more sense. I'm just a fly-by-night girl, that's me. Yeah, and well, if you're on our site, you can go onto the files section, and we've got lists and lists of different things that revolve around fibro. So you're more than welcome to click on those files. Another thing that you won't get told is how much your condition affects your family, and it really does, and you as well, because you just feel so guilty. But there is no need to be. There's no need to feel guilty, and I'll go through this another day. But you're a poorly person, and you can't do the things that you used to be able to do. And I must stress this. You should never feel guilty. It's so important that you don't. And it's so important that you embrace who you become, because the person that you were has gone. And there's no point wishing you were that person again, or that person's gone. You just have to now focus on who you are and how to embrace it, how to, if you're bedridden and you've got young children and you're upset because you can't go to the park with them anymore, but you can read with them. You can still read with them in bed. You can still draw, you can still make poems together. You can still watch films. You can still read and do your ABCs and homework. You can still do everything else. Yes, okay, you can't go to the park, but you still can, you still can go to the park. Just not every day, just not all the time. Your life has changed, but it's only changed. You're not in chains. You just have to listen to your body and pace. You're not tied down to your bed, or you can go out, but you just have to pace yourself and make sure that you've got enough energy to get there and back. And tomorrow is pretty much going to be a write-off. That's all. So you just have to prepare yourself, that's all. But so your life is different. Work around it. I mean, I don't mean that to sound nasty. I'm just saying that we're poorly, our lives have changed. There's nothing we can do about it. But we can make the best out of a bad situation. And your partners, things will change for you and your partner, because our bodies become heightened to touch, sensitivity, noise. Your sight might change, and all that can affect your coupling. I think that's going on to a whole other video, which I probably would like to cover at some point, just because I'm, grotty. But yeah, because everything is so tender and you're in pain and you're tired, yeah, I don't really want to touch on it too much and give too much advice about that, because it's an awkward one. But all I will say is just try and communicate all the time with your partner, and just tell them how you're feeling. Just be honest all the time. That's all I can say, is just be honest with them. Tell them if something doesn't feel nice, wherever, to where I was pointing down, but if something doesn't feel nice, just let them know. I think that's really important. So we've covered those. What else don't you know? Emotional. It's a really big emotional ride. And you'll feel alone. especially if you're newly diagnosed. You might have been thinking that you have been feeling this way and for a long time, and you're the only one. And sometimes people think that they're a bit of a hypochondriac, maybe, that maybe it's all in your head. I didn't feel that way. I mean, my dad died, and that's when my symptoms started coming on. So I did have a reason behind it, but I listened to stories where sometimes they do say that the doctor, sort of looks at him with the old eye roll, like, God, here we go again. So yeah, it affects you emotionally. And I think sometimes when you get a name for, all these symptoms that you've had for such a long time, sometimes it can be a bit of a finally, and then it's oh, I've got something. How do I deal with this? But know that, that there are support groups and people are there for you, and there is a load of other people that are feeling the exact same way as you. And, or they've been there and they know exactly how you're feeling. But we can help you. I am the classic one at not saying the right thing at the right time. No, saying the wrong thing at the right time. You see what I mean? But the group that I have it's amazing. The women there and the men, they're just amazing members, and they're always there for everybody, day and night. Like I said, a lot of us have insomnia, so we're always on. But yeah, so if you are on our group, then you will always have support. I'm always there to talk to as well. Not like you want to talk to this crazy sausage, but yeah. So what other things don't you know? Done the family thing, done medication. So I will do meds on another. I'm going to do meds tomorrow or another day, but that's a whole other situation as well. And I'll do meds because I want to cover preglabin. God, I can't even say it. And gabapentin especially. So what else don't you know? Support groups. There are loads out there, fantastic ones. There are some rubbish ones too, but I'm sure you'll learn the ones to stay away from and the ones to join. Other things that you don't know when you're first diagnosed, or I think that's probably about it, although I've probably forgotten a million things, but if I do, I'll write them in the comments. But thank you ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And thank you for my 3 subscribers. Yeah, so I'm going to go. But thank you ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll put details of our group down for you if you do want to join. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye.